Hello and welcome to Two Therapists in the Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
Two Therapists in the Microphone is a show about mental health, relationships, and social issues that personally affect you. We broadcast live every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. on the Our Black Media Network.
Dr. Harrison Davis and I are two licensed psychotherapists with decades of clinical experience, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about the situations and dilemmas that you're going through. How can we hear about those? Well, you can send us questions by visiting our webpage at www.twotherapist.com and click on Ask Two Therapists at the top of the page.
Absolutely. We are getting some emails in from
Mhm.
several of our listeners. We can't get to all of them, but today we got a juicy topic with a wonderful guest expert clinician on the show. It's about relationships. More importantly, it is about how to end relationships and what to
Yeah.
do. What do you have to say about that, Dr. Aisha?
Well, I think that a lot of people focus on how to get in relationships.
I agree.
And when a relationship ends, they focus on, or they might talk about how to get over the relationship. But if you're the person who's already over it and you're trying to get the other person to move on, that seems to be a little more difficult than what people think. Okay.
Yeah. And what they
So
signed up for.
right, right. When
Yep.
you want to be done, you want to be done, especially when you're
Yep.
good and grown, you want to move on. So tonight we're going to talk about something that someone discussed with me, and that is that the person, well, we'll get more in depth with it later. Let me first introduce our guest, and then I'll tell you about the story that I heard. So after I heard the story, the first person I wanted to bring on was Deshelle Burrows. Deshelle Burrows is a licensed professional counselor, national certified counselor, and a lot of other credentials. She has a lot of other credentials that most of you all probably won't know. She's the founder and owner of the Pathway, the wellness counseling, coaching, and consulting practice that she opened in 2020. She's sex therapy trained. She's a trauma psychotherapist, and she specializes in curating safe spaces from women of color where they could take the time to feel protected and heard while they are healing through life. She's a graduate of Argosy University, Atlanta, where she received her master's degree in clinical mental health. She understands that women are multifaceted, hence why she has taken to ensuring that she offers a personalized experience supporting women through life transitions, including but not limited to motherhood, postpartum anxiety, and trauma. Deshelle also works extensively with local rape crisis as a rape crisis therapist. She supports sexual assault survivors through the most difficult time of their life. Thank you, Deshelle, for being here.
Thank you
Welcome.
so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
So
And
I'm
thank
going to
you
tell
for
you,
having
this one's going to be fun tonight because here's the story.
The
We
show is
have
always fun.
well, it is. You're right, Harrison. But this one is particularly fun for me. I'll say I always have fun here, but I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight. So with this story, there is a young, I'll say young, well-established woman who is single. She gets out, she dates, she doesn't do too much. I think doesn't do too little, but she had a relationship that lasted, I'll say, less than a year, more than 6 months, but less than a year. And when she decided that there were things she didn't like about the male she was dating, I don't know what that is. That could be that they had a difference in values. That could be that they had
Anything could happen. They were
different
only
friend
dating.
groups. Right, right. They were just dating. No one was married. No one was engaged. But when it came down to it, she decided that she no longer wanted to be with him.
Okay.
Now, this particular woman feels that she was very nice about the way she broke up with the guy. She told them, look, this is what it is. Thank you for the time we had together. I'm going to move on, and I hope that you move on and have a happy, safe, and healthy life as well.
A nice rejection.
Mhm,
Right,
mhm.
right. But I guess a rejection nonetheless. The problem that she's having is this guy is not giving up. Almost 3 months later, he is still sending her text messages about how much he cares about her, about how he wishes she would change her mind, sending her songs, sending just long thesis text messages. There's just a lot going on, and she wants to know, how does she get him to move on without calling the police?
Oh,
Because this
wow.
sounds a bit like is on
Wow.
the verge of harassment. He
Mm-hmm.
likes all of her Instagram pictures. He has a comment for everything that comes through her Instagram stories. She's not even friends with him on Facebook, and he likes her pictures on Facebook, which means I think that he has to actually search her and
Yeah, it's
go
public.
through her stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Her account may be public. Yeah.
Right. So even when she blocks him on social media and still trying to be nice, he's still texting like, I see you blocked me on social media.
Not getting the hint. Not getting the hint.
Right, right,
Well,
right.
but he received. It sounds like he received more than a hint. Sounds like she told him. She was explicit with
Mhm.
it that the relationship was over. She terminated the relationship.
Yes. And my understanding is that in the beginning, she was very nice. She even said repeatedly, look, I'm just done. I wish you the best. But it has even escalated to her screaming in the phone, leave me the F alone. Leave me the F alone. And he still doesn't. He's still like, I love you. So
So
let's,
let me first before we ask the Shell and Aisha, I know you got an opinion about this.
of
It,
course I do.
you know, I know brothers sometimes can be persistent,
Mhm.
and sometimes persistence pays off if you stick around long enough. That's what I've heard. But it does sound like there were some lines crossed, and perhaps your friend is beginning to feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know, so that's the thing that I'm hearing. You know, where is that line between being persistent, trying to woo someone back to you, and stalking and
Mhm.
making someone
Mhm.
feel lost? I just wanted to mention that, you know, because I do know that I've talked to a number of clients and they tend to do that. They don't want to let go. So I'm glad you brought a guest on the show today. Michelle, tell us
Now, I don't have a
about.
problem letting go.
Me
You
either.
made that sound like I'm one of the clients.
No. You're the clinical expert. I'm sorry. So tell us
So,
your take on that.
so this can be very scary. And it doesn't matter if it's a male or female. Just someone that you've said repeatedly, and then she literally chanted, you know, to leave her alone. And he's still there. This is when it gets to be where it's really scary. And
Mm,
I'm not sure that he's really understanding the gravity of what he's doing now and where these parameters can take him.
gotcha. So you believe that he has crossed some unhealthy lines and with his persistence.
Oh, absolutely. And
Gotcha.
may possibly continue to do so. Absolutely.
Hmm.
After additional 3 months, you're still, contacting her. You're
That's a long
still
time.
right. I mean,
It's a quarter of
she
a year.
right. And you're still here saying, I want to be with you. Nope. And she said no repeatedly. So at what point does that become stalking? Does this become she doesn't feel safe any
Yeah.
longer? You know,
Yeah.
that's where it gets scary.
I can
And that's when
imagine
his
that.
life and hers can change.
And there's a lot going on in this world where people are doing dumb things over situations like this. So, Aisha, you described to us how your friend broke up, but I want to hear from our expert. What's a good, healthy way
Right.
to
What's the
end
best way to break up?
a relationship, a dating relationship that's gone on for almost a year? Because I want to know about that too.
I mean, it's
So
essentially, I'm wondering, would it maybe have been better for her to ghost him?
possibly, but how do you know?
Yeah.
We have no idea of how he's going to react. She thought she was doing it the best way possible. No hard feelings, live your life. I wish you well. That should have been enough for him to say, okay, then I'm going to move on, no matter who that person was. But it wasn't. So it really depends on the mental health of that other person, of that
Mm.
guy.
Yeah.
He's not willing to accept, that he's not, her end all be all. And
Yeah.
so, but how would she know that? You have no way of knowing when you're
Yep.
in a relationship with someone how they're going to deal with rejection.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, because it sounds like your friend, she said all the right things,
All the right things. Mhm.
and so, but what I'm wondering, I've talked to a few clients about this. Do you believe, Deshelle, is also important to say, make the statements, we're not going to be friends? I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to interact with you. We're no longer going to engage each other in any type of communication. Do you believe that's too much to do?
No, you can do that, but essentially she did that. She cut him off. She cut him off completely, and he's still backdooring his way in,
Yeah.
muscling his way into her life. He's still,
Yeah.
reaching out to her.
How
And
important do
that's
you believe it is to communicate that?
it should be communicated. But I think even with her saying this is not working out,
I agree. I agree.
thank you for your time,
I agree.
that should have been enough.
You wouldn't stalk a job like that after they
Right.
said thank you for your time.
If they
We're
fired
going to
you,
move
you would
on.
just be like, let me pull my tail between my legs and let me go out here and find a new job.
Yeah.
But instead, he's like, no, you're not going to break up with me.
Yep.
I want to be here. And for some people, it's hard because they want to be the one that breaks up with you.
Yeah. He wants to be in control.
He wants to be in control.
I didn't
And
consider that.
Yeah, so that is the issue possibly, is that he feels out of control with the situation because it was out of his hands.
Yeah. And
This may be just a game for him.
Yeah, there are some guys out there. They want to get the person back just so that they can dump them.
That sounds like something I would have done in college.
Yeah,
But now
and
remember,
grown folks
this
do it
friend is
too.
almost. These people are somewhere between late 30s to mid 40s.
Folks still
folks-
playing games until they 60s and 70s, or even longer than that. Games are still being played in these streets, Dr. Dickerson and Dr. Davis. Yeah.
But it does sound. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, so I'm still not surprised that he should have taken her hint, but he's not, because possibly he wanted to be the person that broke up with her
That's a
versus,
possibility.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that. I know guys like that. They wanted to go back and be the one to do the dumping, so they
Yes.
can go back. It's their ego, and they can
I
go
did
back.
that. I broke
And
up with you.
yes, yeah, he can
I
brag
did.
about it. Absolutely. When the reality
You ain't all
is,
that,
yeah,
all of those things.
yeah, as if
Mhm.
he's more important, more significant than what he really is. But it does sound like your friend. She said the right things. Now, she didn't expect oh boy to be overly persistent.
Right.
With that, it's gotten to the point where it is scary. But Deshelle, what can the person do when they've broken up with someone and they keep coming back? Trying to talk with them, and it's gone beyond 3 months. That's a hell of a long time to
Mhm.
be holding on to somebody who said, "Get out of my life."
So for me, the next step would be, if you're constantly contacting me back, then I may have to step up my game and say, maybe I need to put some authorities in part of this, and maybe I need to say, hey, and you may not do it, but just the threat of
Mhm.
Okay.
saying, you know what, maybe I need to call the authorities. If you could keep contacting me, I'm going to have to involve them, maybe, and depending on this person's status, this person's, their, how comfortable they are, they may be like, oh no, let me go ahead and back off because I got a good job, I got all these things and I don't have time for this drama. So that may be what, he needs to back off. So, but if that doesn't work, then you may have to involve, the authorities, letting them know, hey, some things are going down. I'm not feeling safe. What are my next steps?
Yeah. Hopefully the threat will help.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
So Mike Kelly says here, you got to know who you're dating. Some
Yep.
people can't take rejection. Dump them before they go crazy. Some relationships end badly.
That is
And
true.
now the purpose of dating is to collect data.
Yes.
A lot of times you don't know they're crazy until they go crazy.
They show it.
Mhm. And for him, he didn't show how crazy he was. You may have
Yeah.
had other signs, this lady may have beforehand, and that's why she didn't want to go further. But she probably had no indication that he was going to be like this, or she probably would have done something differently.
So now in the mental health field, we don't too much use, I say the C word, crazy, but I'm going to stick with it because that's the word.
Pathological.
Pathological. Okay. So for the purpose of this question, I'm going to use the word crazy.
Okay.
If someone is acting crazy, do you think it will be beneficial to out crazy them?
So
this is
I'll
fun
let you.
to
I'll
me.
let you go first. I'll let you go first.
Should she out crazy him? Because I know this person, knowing this person, I know she has the potential. to
Mhm.
win the crazy game if he makes her do it.
Ooh, that's scary. That is, and that's so much fun. I wish I was there to
I
witness
was
it.
thinking the same thing in my 20s. You want to call my house? And
Right,
at 3 in the morning,
right,
that may be fun. And I can't say I've never done anything like that to out crazy somebody. I have my limits though.
right, right.
but as grown, healthy folks,
I was gonna say, but now we real grown.
we're real grown now, and you might be triggering something. The brother's already triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Might be
Clearly.
triggering something that you may not be expecting. Because you may be to your friend, you may be acting crazy, but his real crazy is going to come out.
Uh-huh.
And that's something I wouldn't want anybody to encourage with that. But I think it's sometimes you can show them. Oh, you think I won't do this? Just to
Right.
show
You
them.
want to see me so bad? Let me show up at your job. Knock
Yeah.
all this stuff over.
Oh, let me show
Okay.
this.
Give you
Let
the
me
attention you want.
let me post this photo on social media that you didn't know that I had.
Hmm.
Or
You
let me
forgot.
post. Let
Mhm.
me. You forgot those text messages that you sent me where I told you to leave me alone. How about I just post that?
I have
So
seen
that's
that.
that's what I was thinking.
Right.
And people do that stuff. It's just this guy's already shown that he is unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And grown pathological folks, i.e., crazy,
Mm-hmm.
can do a hell of a lot. But what do you
Yes.
think, Michelle?
Oh, I completely agree. We don't want to step our crazy game up, knowing that he's not even taking heed of, just regular rejection. So if you then step up, you're crazy. Then that may be really scary,
Absolutely.
because we have no idea of what he's capable of.
Oof Ellis says pathological sounds worse than crazy, Harrison. Yeah, it may be.
Does it though?
I thought pathological was a nice way to call somebody crazy with that. But nevertheless, we have a young lady here. She wants some answers, some solutions
Mm-hmm.
to this problem. I like the things that we've talked about, so far, particularly the issue of the threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping that this grown man will take that threat and move on with it. And because she's dropped enough hints. Would you say that's a fair
More than enough.
statement?
Mm-hmm. More than enough.
More,
Absolutely.
more than enough.
And
And
so maybe at the next step is to have another conversation, saying, I need to know that you've heard that this is over, that we're done. And then these are the steps I may take if you keep harassing me.
yeah. So I remember a situation similar to this. I think I was in college around that time, and the young lady, a friend of mine, she had her brother to call old
Mm.
boy and let him have it, to threaten to make the threat, and then the guy stopped calling my friend. So, sometimes having someone else intervene,
Mm-hmm.
That's
he
not there.
knows that someone else is involved
Mm-hmm.
besides you two. I'm hoping sometimes that is enough to push him away, so that he
But
can
it's gonna
find
have to be someone that he already knows. Hopefully they've, met some friends or some
to
people in
cause some
common.
embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. Also that they know that what he's doing as well.
Yeah, without
Mm-hmm.
posting anything on social media,
Oh,
without involving the whole world,
mm-hmm.
you can spark some embarrassment with them by having. I would prefer a male, a good friend of yours or even a relative, to
Right.
come through, somebody with a little hood in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that would be helpful, but I hope that helps. But I also want to ask Michelle and Aisha about the guy. We
Mm-hmm.
talked a lot about the young lady who is trying to get rid of this pest.
Mm-hmm.
After she broke up with him, sounds like in a nice way, and he's been overly persistent, and now looking like he's pathological or crazy.
Right.
What would make a person hold on so desperately to somebody who has rejected them?
Now,
That's it.
according to Jasmine Sullivan, it could be the sex, and that
Mm-hmm.
it's a flex, but it can also be a burden, and that she might have put it on him so bad or so good rather that he just can't let go.
Mm-hmm.
That's some powerful pee.
But it's some powerful P out there.
Guys,
Right.
let's go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is some powerful P out there.
That he's lost his mind because he wants to keep getting it on the regular.
But I think also, is he triggered? Could this have triggered some other rejection for him?
I was thinking that too.
Some past trauma, maybe a past girlfriend, maybe a past life. This absolutely mama triggers. College, way back then in college when the girl broke up with him, or it could definitely trigger some past things for him.
Yeah, so that's what I also want us to talk about too. Helping people to avoid getting into that situation, because it's tough to be in a situation like that, and we have to be able to recognize some of those people when they show some of those traits. But it certainly sounds like he has been triggered by something from his past. He didn't like it. I don't even know what the motive is at this point. I get it, being persistent, maybe call a week or two later, and see how she responds, even a birthday, several months later. I get that. but the constant in your face, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't care what you say.
And I left you alone. I left you alone for 25 days. Was 25 days not enough? That should have been enough. So let me give you all a little more information, because she did take this. I know that the advice I gave her when she was thinking about the breakup was to let him know why exactly you didn't feel like the relationship
That's
worked.
a good thing. That's a good thing.
And maybe he can take that into his next relationship or into, any of his relationships, period.
Constructive criticism.
Right. So I don't dislike you. This was good. Well, I do dislike you, but this was good and this was bad. And I'm not willing to work on it anymore. But if you're committed to being better, these are things that you can work on to be better for the next woman. And
that was nice.
I think so. But apparently he has turned that into, I'm trying to work on these things so that you will take me back.
Oh.
So my next question then is,
it just took a left turn.
Over his head.
My next question is, Deshelle, if this man were your client and he's telling you that the woman broke up with him and that she gave him this constructive criticism and that he can't let go, what is the advice, or not, we don't give advice as therapists, but what would you do to help this male client?
Yeah.
I would do exactly what we just said. Maybe there's some parts work that need to be done here. Maybe there was a part of him that the person triggered. And so we talk about, did this ever happen before? Have you ever felt this way? And we may process that. What's come up for him, or what did this trigger in him? Was there a rejection in his past? We may even do, if he's able to come up with an instance that would happen, EMDR would be great. Brain spotting would be great. What is this saying about you? What is the negative cognition? What are your negative beliefs around what's being said? That you are holding on to. And so we would kind of process through what those beliefs would be. And so that way we could kind of change those and maybe give him something constructive to move on with.
I like that. I would even add to that. You touched on it, just asking the brother, what does that rejection remind you of? What did it touch in you, and what is that feeling or that emotion or that incident that you're trying to avoid? Because I think that's what it's all about. He's trying to avoid feeling rejected or inadequate, or somebody what he wanted, he can't have what he wanted. The situation is out of his hands, and I'm a firm believer that all of that is tied to something in his background, possibly from his childhood, and that's where we can go in and help him to tweak some things and how he's viewing the situation and recover from some of those feelings, to go on what Deshelle was talking about. So that's what I've had some clients like that too.
I imagine, because you work with a lot of males.
Yeah, so. I do. I have to let them know sometime, brother, you about to go to jail. You about to ruin your
reputation, keep down this road.
Over this woman with some good pee. you're willing to ruin everything else. I feel obligated to warn them about that. But
and so how do they take that from you, that feedback?
It's hard. It's tough, but they got to take it sometimes and put things into some cognitive perspective. If I continue doing this, then these are the bad things that could possibly happen.
Absolutely.
And be settled with that rejection. I'm like, brother, take it. Take that hit so you can recover from it. I also tell them, be glad she rejected you, because now she's preparing you for the one who really wants to appreciate you.
Or out of the way for that person.
To get out of the way so your blessing can show up and you can see her. You're so focused on something that doesn't want you. I know it doesn't feel good, but what about the one that's out there looking at you, waiting on you to say hello?
Yes.
That's the conversation that I have with them. So finally,
it's okay to feel the feels.
You gotta take the hit, take the loss, and recover from it. But I thought it was interesting. Oof Ellis mentioned, I don't think it's the P. Okay. Some people just love hard. What the hell is love hard? I've heard that from some clients.
There's that psychopathology.
What is love hard?
Don't love
I'm
someone.
gonna love you until I'm ready to leave you. That's what it is.
I'm gonna love you no matter what you say.
And I'm hurt, so I'm gonna love you until you hurt too.
Right. Yeah. I don't want that kind of love.
Me either.
I've had clients to say that. That's why I kept it up there. I wanted to mention it because I don't know what they say about that. What the hell is love hard? Love should be warm. Love should be healthy. Love should be inviting. You should
love should be safe,
comforting. But if you gotta love hard, like you pushing a peg into a square, we got to rethink this whole situation. So to all you hard lovers out there, let's just rethink about what you're getting out of that relationship. It should be comforting. It should be safe. You should be able to walk into it and feel the joy. But if you're trying to make it happen,
it's not gonna happen.
But brother, save you and to your friend, I think you did all the right things, but we may have to step it up a little bit with the threats, and even have a serious conversation with her, expressing some concern, for him, and that's going to change.
And maybe having a friend step in as well that you guys have in common.
Change the dynamics of the whole conversation. I'm concerned about you, brother, man.
Yes.
This behavior is concerning to me.
It's
So,
certainly
Michelle,
concerning to me.
Any final words as we're about to wrap up?
Ron, no, just kidding. The final words are just for the writer to be safe, to make the best choices. Don't take the way he's responding lightly. Make sure that she's still setting those clear boundaries, which is what she's done already.
Yeah.
But if she needs to step her game up and do something more, like what we've already discussed, feel free to do so. Her safety is at the utmost highest is what we want for her. For him, I hope that he gets the help that he needs. I hope that he is able to reach out and get some support, not to the caller, not to that person, but to maybe another friend, another male friend, even another girlfriend, that an acquaintance that he can kind of
family member.
Yeah, an
family
uncle,
member,
somebody
anybody that they can say that they can kind of shake him and let him know that he's going too far.
Yeah. Bro, give me a call. I'll talk to you for real.
Okay.
Aisha, any final words?
No, just thank you all for giving my friend this advice. I know she listens every week, so I'm certain she appreciates it. And thank you again for making this so much fun tonight. Deshelle, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. Your listeners can find me on Facebook. My name, Deshelle Burrows, LPC, on my business page. They can find me on Instagram at Sex Mommy Wellness as well.
All right. So thank you guys for watching Two Therapists and a Microphone. Thank you to our guests. And we are broadcasting live every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. on the Our Black Media Network. See you guys next week.
like this. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this. Like this. I like this.